Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review. Today I'll be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Collector build, Atrocitus. Now before we get into the meat and taters of this review, since this figure has no packaging or accessories to speak of, I guess I have a little bit of explaining to do, since I never, and I mean never, typically review the collectible figure from any given assortment from any line before I review the rest of the figures that come with the pieces to build said collectible figure. Needless to say, long story short, it's my channel and I'll do whatever the hell I want. But all jokes aside, in all seriousness here, I do have something very special planned for three particular individuals, the Black Lanterns, from this wave that will be going up fall of this year. So stay tuned for that. And I figured if I was going to dip my toe into this Blackest Night wave from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line, we might as well go for broke and kick things off with the collectible Atrocitus, since of the two characters I will be reviewing this week and for quite some time on this channel actually, I like Atrocitus more than Kyle Rayner. Sorry, not sorry, but the Evil Lanterns always did it a little bit more for me personally. That said, I have nothing against the Green Lanterns. You guys know how much I love Jon Stewart and Mad TV, but if I have the choice between a big red monster man and a white guy in green clothes with white gloves and a pretty awesome looking sword actually, I'm going to go with the big red monster man. So, taking a closer look at good old Atrocitus here. Very tall. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. Seems a bit too tall, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% familiar with this character outside of Injustice 2, where he wasn't like a giant. So, there is that. Take that for what you will. But I do know him from Blackest Night, and I do know that the Red Lanterns are almost like blood magic users and just pissed off 110% of the time. That's all they are. They're not much else. And the Red Lantern of Earth is a kitty cat named Scratch, I think. Which is kind of sad when you really think about it. It's like, really? That's the best you could do for Earth? But whatever. That said, this is a really awesome collectible figure. Not the best. I still think the best is probably Darkfather or the Frost King, just based off of the quality and construction of those. But this guy, I might place him in third place. He's definitely better than Bane. I think he's better than King Shark. I'm trying to think what else we got. I like him more than the Joker bot, just because I'm more familiar with this character. Merciless. I think Merciless might be the second weakest to Bane, just because I don't like the legs on that thing. I think that's all the collectibles, unless I missed one. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's all of them. That said, as far as Atrocitus' articulation goes, that's going to be very difficult to say in a sentence. Atrocitus. Lots of syllables there. That's what you want to call it. That said, his head can look up and down pretty well. For a guy that's got this big kind of collar piece, and then the way the head is sculpted. Actually, the head wouldn't hinder it. The collar piece would, but the collar piece does not get in the way. You can look down. You can look up. You can tilt side to side. He's got these little horns here. Now, what is the deal with Atrocitus? Is he like the devil? Or his Necron is like the Grim Reaper? Somebody let me know in the comments, because I'm not 100% on that. I mean, I know Trigon is technically more like the devil, but of the Green Lantern continuity, is Atrocitus like the devil? That'd be kind of awesome, because he's got these little horns here that kind of connect to this armor piece that wraps around his head. And can someone tell me if he's got earbuds playing Dying Fetus in there? Because I feel like that's what would be on this guy's playlist. Either way, he can look side to side and tilt pretty well. That said, this shoulder piece just kind of sits on here. It doesn't really snap on and stay on. so it does have a tendency to flop around. So I might have my dad super glue that on, because it is kind of annoying. It does pop off from time to time. As far as the shoulders go, they go out to the side. I gotta tell you, I'm a little disappointed with the quality of the shoulders on a lot of these DC Multiverse figures lately. They're sculpted to have a ratchet, but yet there's barely any ratchet in there. Like, it's super soft, so what exactly is the point of all those little ridges? That said, the shoulders are also kind of loose in the swivel department. That's not that great. Granted, I know ways to fix that, but I shouldn't freaking have to. So stay tuned, because I'm going to be bitching about that for quite a while. Probably not, but at least it's an issue on this figure, and on Ghostmaker, and maybe not Hush, I can't remember. That said, he does have a bicep swivel. That works pretty well. You gotta pose him a certain way so his arms go down, but they will go down. That said, he does have double elbow, and really ugly on the top there. That is atrocious. Get it? Atrocious. Atrocitus. Haha. The bottom joint, however, is not too bad, not too great, but better than this freaking unholy abomination. What the hell is that? What is that? What is that? Who is cutting these joints, man? It's not just McFarlane either. Like, Hasbro's been doing it. NECA did it with the Goliath figure. Not so much on the Demona and Bronx, thankfully. Or my Werewolf in London. We're going to talk about some other beasties NECA made. Or even the Ninja Turtle stuff, to my understanding. But it's like, whoever's cutting the joints has no business cutting joints. It just looks so bad when they're posed. Luckily, it is the elbow, so it is on the back. But I'm not going to excuse it. It looks bad. It just does. That said, he does have ball hinge wrists that move a little bit. A little sticky here and there, but not too bad. He's got the ring on his finger. Is it on that side or is it on this? I can't tell what side it's on. But he's got the ring on there. As far as the torso goes, he's got crunch! That's right. A big boy has some crunch. That said, he can move back too. We'll warn you though, this can get loose, so be wary about that. That said, he's got the same type of joint as Ghostmaker. It's got the big kind of tube in the middle with a double ball peg up here and a single ball peg down here. So that's very interesting. That said, he does also have some tilt. Ooh. Did I pop something? Haven't done that before. Okay, alright, nothing's broke. Alright. Okay. Crisis aborted. I must have just been something down here. Maybe it was just some schmutz. But there you go. There's the torso movement. Now that I've successfully, potentially weakened that up a bit, you're welcome. I showed you the range. As far as the hips go, this is where this figure kind of sucks. If you crank on it, you can get it up there. But it starts to go out to the side. So, McFarlane, I love you, but you need to cut this diaper, like, right there. That would fix this problem tremendously. Because while I appreciate the seamless look, I like to be able to pose my figures too. Especially for final thoughts, to show you guys I'm not a total pleb and can't pose my stuff. But when they hinder it this bad, it kind of sucks. That said, as far as outward movement goes, that's not hindered. It's just a little loose, but it holds. It's not too bad. About this side. Yeah, they're both kind of loose. But forward and back's nice and tight, so, you know, it's not terrible, but it's not the best. And then he does have a thigh cut, but you are going to pop the leg out doing that. Unless I just haven't snapped mine in all the way. I have no idea. But they snap, they click, but they don't stay. It's not like a regular figure where if you heated it up and popped it off, it makes a nice loud pop sound. It's a very subtle pop sound. And that's really my only major point of contention with this figure, aside from some looseness here and there. I wish these bits snapped in, like, really well. Like, I don't mind heating up my figures to put them together. I really don't. Anyone who complains about that, I'm sorry, but you're a bitch, and you need to grow a set. Because I like my figures to not pop apart, okay? That's the whole purpose of a collectible figure. You collect the figures, you build it, you don't take it apart. It seems kind of moot, you know? So, you know, it is what it is, but I wish they could figure that out. Because, for the most part, they got the putting the figure together thing down pretty pat, I would say. They just need to tighten things up a bit. That said, he does have a double knee that works. Oh god, look at how ugly that is. What is that? What's that? That's some Iron Maiden living on a razor's edge shit right there. What the hell is that? Your knees don't look like that, man. Bottom one's okay. I'll take that. That and it's hidden by the knee pad, but what is that? What is that? Ugh. Sorry, but I'm gonna bitch about that till the cows come home because it looks like shit. That said, he does have the hinge in the ankle with the swivel, as well as the rocker and the toe joint, which is tight on this side. A little bit whatever on that side, but not terrible. I will say, if anything, his feet are okay. That said, not to throw any shade at this figure, because I do like him, or any more shade, I should say. I kind of just did throw a crap ton of shade, but I gotta tell ya, one thing I would have liked, and this is something that DC Collectibles did, or DC Direct, whatever the hell they were called, like 10 years ago. This is something they did, and I would like McFarlane Toys to do this at some point. Maybe not right now, because I don't want to buy another one of these just yet. But I'd like to see some metallics on these lanterns. I think a really nice crimson metallic red would really frickin' pop on this guy and bring him to life. Granted, you know, the thing with McFarlane is sometimes they are made to be customizable. Here's the deal. I'm visually impaired. I can't customize for shit. Just give them to me that way, please, and thank you. I would really, really appreciate that. So, with that being said, I really like this Atrocitus. I didn't have one before. I never bought the Mattel one, so I can't tell you how good or bad that one is. But I will tell you one thing, he was pretty freaking small. He was like the regular buck with an Atrocitus head and the shoulder pads on it. It just looked kind of whatever. Forgot to mention he's got peg holes at the bottom of the feet, but you don't really need those. He's okay. He'll manage. He'll do just fine without them. That said, I can't seem to get him in the center there. That's good enough. But yeah, one of the better collectibles, but there's still room for improvement, and we got to work on those cuts, man. Some of those look absolutely atrocious. I love that. But with all that being said, let's now move on and take a look at some size comparisons. First up, here is the Collectabuild Atrocitus next to the entire Blackest Night wave from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line. We have Green Lantern Kyle Rayner, Black Lantern Deathstorm, spoiler alert, he's my favorite, Black Lantern Batman, and Black Lantern Superman. That said, is it just me, or do Kyle Rayner and Deathstorm look like they're carrying candy buckets? Is that some kind of weird foreshadowing for what I have planned for the 3 Black Lantern figures in this wave? Maybe, but all that aside, I am very much looking forward to adding the Necron Megafig to this collection to kind of fully complete it, as it were. That said, this is still a really awesome lineup. And last, but certainly not least, we have our 2 regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Mandibulus, Love and Spawn, who's not towering over everyone today, but, side note, wouldn't good old Al Simmons here make a kick-ass Red Lantern? I think so. Somebody get on that. But, with all that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, an of the collectible figures we've gotten in the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse line thus far. Good old Atrocitus here is by far one of the better ones. Granted, he's not the best. That mantle still belongs to either the Dark Father or the Frost King. If I had to rank this guy anywhere, I'd say he's probably about as good as the Joker bot from last year's Target exclusive collectible set, which was for Batman Beyond Future's End, I believe. So with that being said, while he is not the best, he's still really solid. Granted, I think the quality control and overall construction is a little bit better on Darkfather and Frost King as opposed to this guy right here. He is a little bit loosey-goosey in places and has a tendency to pop apart at times. But hey, that's better than breaking, I always say. But with all that being said, he is a bit hindered as far as articulation goes, particularly in the hips, especially for a character like Atrocitus, who I assume throws down on the regular. It's a bit of a shame I can't get him into more action type poses. That said, I do really like this tough guy pose. Looks like he's about to kick my ass, so I better wrap this thing up. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you're so inclined, please don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one. And if you haven't already, please hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is, especially when you review a collectible/build-a-figure prematurely. I know! Such blasphemy! Oh, shame! And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.